Hello, everybody. It's the one you've been waiting for. Championship predictions for round 46 is going to be absolute chaos in terms of the playoff race and the relegation battle. I'm here with the great Sam Parkin, and I'm really, really pleased to say, Sam, we are brought to you in association on this video and for all of the playoffs with Boyle Sports, home of the early payout. If you're on a game this weekend and your team goes 2 goals up, Boyle Sport are going to pay out early. Here's one for you, Sam, and for the viewers. 2 teams have surrendered 2-goal leads twice this season already in the Championship. Have a little think, and we'll ask you at the end who the biggest, don't want to say bottlers, that's not fair, but you can have a think. You can answer that one. Let us know in the comments. Sam, you may think it's dramatic in the relegation zone. It is equally dramatic in Benjamin Bloom versus Sam Parkin because it is 20 all going into the final round of the season. Who is going to take the honours? Sam, I beat you 10-9 in round 45. I had Blackburn 2, Watford 1, Bob on, Hull 0, Derby 1. You had Oxford 2, Sunderland 0. So it's 20 all. I'm probably going to concede the aggregate because you are 345 to 333 up. So that would be a bit like Plymouth escaping relegation, but it's all to play for in round 46, matey.
Yeah, again, I think I subconsciously knew there was a couple of scores racking up there as the games played out. I knew it was quite a good week for us. Surprisingly so at this late stage of the season, and I would imagine this could be the lowest scoring week in the eternity, because it's so difficult, isn't it? You normally get a few bizarre ones. And
not too many dead rubbers, Sam.
I'm so confident that probably going into additional time, the little league table or the bottom 5 that comes up on the Sky coverage is going to be changing. It's going to be changing. It's going to be revolving, and we're probably going to have a team down on the deck, desperately disappointed that they've fallen through the trapdoor in the last knockings of the season.
We don't wish that upon anybody, but we do wish that you would get involved in the comments. You know the scores by now. Give yourself 1 point for a correct outcome, home, away, or draw. Give yourself 3 for a correct scoreline. Give yourself 4 if your scoreline comes in and it has 5 or more goals. And it's a big one to begin with, Sam. Bristol City versus Preston, with implications on the playoffs and potentially the relegation zone.
Yeah, I'm just like pivoting for fun here. I have no idea. I think if I was to look at the league table and say which 2 teams do I not trust, it would probably be these 2. I honestly don't know. I gave you this statistic previously on the Championship check-in. Yeah, Preston away, not won against anyone in the top half. Bristol City not lost against anyone in the bottom half. At home, Preston's form horrible. I think the worst over the last 12 games, if memory serves me right. So this has been a malaise that has been coming, has been going on a long time. I'm going to sit on the fence here. I'm going to sit on the fence, and I think, could that be just about enough for both? Not sure. I'm going to go 1-1 here. I'm going to go 1-1. Preston have been in every game, pretty much. They're losing by the odd goal. They're scoring in all these games. I think maybe that's going to happen again, but they're going to be able to get the point that possibly they require. Someone else is going to do the maths here. I'm going to give you the scores. Someone else can go away and get annoyed because their team's going to be relegated, subject to my predictions.
There you go. By the way, both Sam and I, we're not doing it. We do it per match and what we think the 2 teams are going to do. Obviously, there'll be absolute chaos because everyone actually reacts to what's going on in the other games and tactics literally change. But yeah, I'm going to back Bristol City, Sam. I think they have the one last hurrah to get themselves over the line. We said all season they skew better at home. I'm going to go 2-1. Maybe Preston are going to equalise and Bristol City are going to force the winner, which could be disastrous for Preston, depending on what we're about to say. Burnley versus Millwall is up next. And apologies, Millwall fans. I don't think you get the unrealistic away win at title contenders Burnley. I think Burnley have been hyper consistent. So why would I change it right now? think they're so close to so many amazing records. So I'm going to go for the clean sheet victory. And I'm going to go Burnley 1, Millwall 0.
Oh, well, they won at Sheffield United, and I was there that night, and they were brilliant. Millwall, was I there? Yeah, I think I was. It's a blur the last few months, but they were brilliant. They weren't good, were they? At Leeds last time out, obviously won there in the cup. So maybe I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. A decent enough performance with real fight. I'll go for Burnley to win by 3-1.
I'm looking for a dead rubber somewhere, but the next one's Coventry versus Middlesbrough, Sam.
Oh my goodness me. I think both teams go in with problems. Coventry, obviously the last couple of results, Plymouth and Luton, is it back to back? I think they've won a couple, haven't they? They beat Portsmouth last minute. They beat West Brom, which was far and away their best performance. But the displays have actually been really indifferent recently. Are they good enough to win last day with a bit of pressure? I'm going to say yes. And that's just because, Middlesbrough are struggling for rhythm. I think various things have gone wrong for them second half of the season. God, I want to say 2-1 for all of them. 2-1 Coventry.
I'm also going to back Coventry, and I'm going to play for a bonus point. I'm going to go 3-2 fireworks, but not as big a fireworks as I think that a 3-2 does kind of portray. I think maybe Coventry will get 3-1 up and Borough will score in 93 or 94 or something like that. But yeah, I fancy Coventry to bounce back. I think they're a good side at leveraging home, aren't they? And Middlesbrough, love Michael Carrick, love you Middlesbrough fans, but just a bit flaky. And it's a big gut check match. And yeah, I don't think they'll do it. Speaking of big gut check matches, Derby versus Stoke. And let me get my tinfoil hat on, Sam, because I am on record as saying already that a draw might well work perfectly for both of these two sides. I think they might get wind of something around 60 minutes that Preston, Luton, or Hull are going to be dropping points. And I think it might be all right to see this one out level. I can just I'm doing story time with Sam here. I can just see that both sides know it's going to be okay, and they've just got their eyes elsewhere and think, don't lose. What we have, we hold. Derby 1, Stoke 1. Both survive, probably, in my head.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I'm just going to go with form. I'm going to go with Derby by the odd goal. 2-1 I will go for. I just think that continuity in selection in comparison to Stoke, we still don't really know what we're going to get. They've obviously picked up a couple of wins, which we would have anticipated, but there's huge problems still at Stoke. Whether they survive or not, if someone wants to do the maths, given my predictions, I'm not sure.
I don't want to do it, but you're now getting goal difference involved. Let me just tell you.
I think today, as it stands, given that John Eustace seems to have found a formula, it's the same midfield, give or take. It's the same setup, and they're hard to beat at Pride Park. I'll go 2-1.
Norwich versus Cardiff, Sam, is a dead rubber.
Yeah, and so what we got here? We got Aaron Ramsey against Jack Wilshere. I've just said that out loud. Is that what we've got?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Terrific. I think I'm right in saying that. Yeah, I'm not surprised about Cardiff. I think they were in my 3, weren't they, about a month ago. So, yeah, in keeping with recent results, will they get a goal? Maybe not. I'll go 2-0 Norwich.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a depressing one for the Cardiff fans. I'm sorry. And fair play if you're a Cardiff fan travelling west to east. I will go same margin, Sam. I'll go Norwich 3, Cardiff 1. And it's Plymouth Leeds. Are we going to both predict Leeds to win the title? I will start by doing exactly that. So we are potentially on, in my mind, for two teams finishing on 100 points. Leeds absolutely murdered Bristol City last night at time of recording. Plymouth will score. Do you know what? I'm going to go 4-1 and play for another bonus point. Plymouth 1, Leeds 4.
Yeah, don't mind it. I'll go 2-1 just because I want everything to be 2-1. I've said that already. Last 12 games, Argyle, top half.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable. And I think here, this statistic, won 4 of the first 29. They've won 7 of the last 16. It's going to be harsh to see them drop out given how well the new manager's done and how some of the players have performed in the last few weeks. But I will, maybe Leeds to be 2-0 up and coasting. Argyle get one for the punters. Tail end, I'll go 2-1.
It's Portsmouth versus Hull, and I'm going to hold Sam Parkin to account on this one because he's been saying something about this game for the last 2-3 weeks. Is he going to hold his nerve?
I am. I'm going to go for Hull to win. Portsmouth got that good point at Hillsborough, despite safety already been achieved. My only concern is that Hull are not scoring goals. Well, they've scored 3, I think, in the last kind of half a dozen games or something. One was a header from a set piece and 2 penalties. So there's no goals going in from open play. They're in every game. They're very tight margins, their fixtures. It shows you that they've improved defensively or they're at a decent place defensively. I'm going to go for it to be relatively comfortable and a rare off day for Portsmouth at Fratton Park. 0-2.
Oh, I don't know what to do on this one, Sam. I could see Hull going there and winning because Portsmouth have done their work and Hull have everything to play for. And as those words came out of my mouth, I now think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go Portsmouth 1, Hull 3. And I'm really sorry, Preston fans, but you're not going to be liking our predictions very much here. It would be absolutely incredible. Anyway, Sheffield United versus Blackburn. It's not a dead rubber because Blackburn could still get into the playoffs, albeit I've got both Coventry and Bristol City winning, so it doesn't much matter in that regard. I'll go for a Desmond, Sam.
I'm going to go for Blackburn to win.
Wow.
I want to say 2-1 again, but I'll go 0-1 and just quickly having a look at it. I think that still means they miss out, but it could be very much what could have been when the final whistle goes, given how well they've ended the season. But maybe Blackburn to win and just miss out.
Do you know what, Sam? I think you have got Bristol City and Blackburn +4. I think you've got Blackburn in there on goal difference, which would be absolutely incredible, wouldn't it? Someone will check the maths.
No, I think... No, that would be Bristol City. Oh, yeah, Bristol City onto 68 and then Blackburn onto 68 with an inferior goal difference.
Blackburn's is superior, Sam, +5 and +4. So you'd have Blackburn in the playoffs.
What's Bristol? Oh, Bristol City are +4 now.
Yeah, they got hammered last night.
Oh, I know they did, but I had them at +8, obviously, before last night's game. So that could come into play. Wow. There you go, then. I've just put the cat amongst the pigeons there.
Brilliant stuff. That's why we got you here, Sam. Sunderland versus QPR.
Sunderland QPR. Oh, if any team needed 3 points and if any team is willing to gift 3 points at this stage of the season at QPR. Goal for the Hoops, Super Hoops. 3-1 Sunderland. Back on the horse.
I quite like that. It does feel loose and it feels like Sunderland have just got a little bit more on it. So that's a scribble for me. So I'll take your 2-1 then. Sunderland 2, QPR 1. Swansea versus Oxford. Just from the bottom of my heart, take a bow, Oxford. Absolutely outstanding. I've predicted them to go down many times this season. I'm probably going to predict them to lose here because I think Swansea have been in better form and Oxford are just going to be like, and breathe. Let's go 1-0 Swans.
Yeah, they had a few chances, didn't they, at Millwall? Certainly in that second half, put a load of pressure on. The performance levels have been really high. There's definitely been an Oxford Player of the Year dinner. I'd imagine that probably ended up in the early hours for the lads, if memory serves. Yeah, I'm just going to go with Swansea because they've finished the season brilliantly, and Oxford are obviously going to be in a very relaxed state. Swansea at home. 2-0.
Watford versus Sheffield Wednesday. Are you going to play a bonus point? And is it going to be Danny Roll's last game?
Oh, I don't know. Sheffield Wednesday seem to have just kind of been off my radar the last few weeks.
Mr. Chansiri was trending on Twitter this morning. I didn't bother to click why, so
Right.
you never know.
Right. Okay. Obviously, they've had some successes on the road, in contrast to kind of how the season's been at Hillsborough. Watford quite fun on their day. 2-2, written all over it.
I think Watford are going to win, but I want to play for a bonus point because I'm amping this up. Even though I think I did this with Sheffield Wednesday last time and I was miserably wrong. 4-2 Watford. Why the hell not? And our final relegation game, and oh God, I've got to go first. West Brom versus Luton. It just stinks of Luton winning. It really, really does. West Brom without manager, aren't they? Luton in really, really good form. They have everything to play for. West Brom have absolutely nothing to play for. And I think they'll win by 2, Sam. West Brom 0, Luton 2, and that would be take a blooming bow, Matt Bloomfield. I know he's had a great squad and they've underperformed, but with the rising tide and the high amount of points total, that is a damn good job if they do survive. What do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly on score lines, but I fancy Luton and Hull in these 2 away games, so I'm going to go for the maximum. Did you say 1-0?
2.
1-0. More than happy with it.
There you go. Right. Don't add that up and work out who Sam and I are predicting to get relegated.
Sorry, everyone.
Just pure
Good
maths.
luck.
Come on, look, our predictions are never normally right. Sam, just quickly, you said earlier in the show that one of the teams you didn't trust most was Preston. And in relation to our new partnership with Boyle Sports here, the home of the early payout, it is Preston and Middlesbrough who have bottled the 2-goal leads twice this season. So you're right to say you didn't trust Preston too much. And we are really pleased to announce that Boyle Sports have asked us also to look at the League One and the League Two play-off semi-finals. So you will get, going into Leg 1, instead of just the 2 predictions, you're going to get 6 for Leg 1, 6 for Leg 2 in the EFL playoffs, and all 3 finals predicted by me and Sam. And just a huge thanks to Boyle Sports for coming on board for the end of the season. Get your predictions down there in the comments. Give yourself 1 point for a correct outcome, 3 points for a correct scoreline, 4 for a bonus. I've played a few. Are you worried, Sam? 2020? Who's going home with the gong here?
Our tally?
The only thing that matters.
Well, I think
you won handsomely last year, Sam. I'm very pleased to be here on the last stage.
In any kind of competition that's currently in play with various bits of work I do, I'm leading the way in everything, mate. So there's going to be no capitulation here. Going to hone in, and I'm going to get the job done. Hopefully, there's going to be a little bit of fun for the playoffs in there. If one of us is trailing by a point or 2, we can.
Oh, we're going to. Okay, we'll register. Basically,
keep it rolling. We'll keep it rolling for the Championship playoffs, surely.
I think whatever is most advantageous to me. So if I lose, we're going to keep it rolling. If I win, we're just going to stop it there. But let us know your thoughts on that down there in the comments. And good luck, Godspeed, especially if your team is involved in the relegation carnage this weekend.